As it pertains to education, I have somewhat of a unique journey because after graduating from high school, I went off to the University of Texas at Austin, hook 'em horns, and I received a Bachelor of Journalism in Public Relations from the University of Texas. And did some freelance writing and worked for a local Austin cable television station. But when I returned home, I fell in love with teaching. And so therein began my educational career as a school teacher. As fate would have it, I ended up being interested in working for industry. And so I was introduced to the process technology program at the College of the Mainland, and I began to take my studies there. And so my educational experience was unique in the sense that most people go off to the local junior college or the community college as a launching pad, whether it be right into their career or they launch themselves into a four-year university. But I had already began a career and I had already completed my degree at a four-year university, but I found myself being interested in one of the programs that College of the Mainland had, and that was a process technology program. So I went back to school, and fortunately some of my hours transferred and I didn't have to go the full two and a half years, but I found that to be a very great program, and it's launched me into the career that I am right now. Currently I'm a process technician with Marathon Petroleum Company here in Texas City, and that wouldn't be possible without the PTEC program. It just opened my eyes to a whole new different possibilities and a course of study. I never really visualized myself working in refinery, but the coursework there was great. It introduced me to what we call the entry-level classes, safety and equipment and process technology. The professors there were all very knowledgeable of the content. Many of them were may have been adjunct professors or may have been professors who were retired from the refinery themselves. So they knew all about the hands-on ins and outs of working in a refinery. And that was very good because it gave me firsthand knowledge of someone who had been there, and not necessarily just from a teacher or a professor who may have been teaching content. As it pertains to the hands-on learning that I received at College of the Mainland, it was real exemplary. There have been some other colleges that have patterned their process technology course of study after the College of the Mainlands. You know, we dealt with hands-on equipment and distillation towers and simulated equipment that they had for us to learn from, whether it be climbing, whether it be designing this and working with these things that you see in industry. We got that hands-on experience at the College of the Mainland, and that was unique. So when I got there at industry at my current career, it was an easy transition for me. There were some great differences between my experience at a four-year university, one of the largest four-year universities in the country, versus our local community college. And I think maybe two or three of those differences that stand out to me was class size was one of them. At the university, I was in classes that probably ranged anywhere from 100 to 300 people sitting in somewhat of a lecture auditorium. You very seldom had personal interaction with your professor. You would have to schedule appointments or meet with your professor's assistant, your teacher assistant. Whereas at the College of the Mainland, the class size was much smaller. Sometimes we had anywhere from 13 to 20 people in a class. And so it allowed me to feel more connected to the professor, and the professor to feel as if he knew me on a more personal level. And once again, they directly told me exactly what I needed to be successful in my career, and guided and directed me. So class size was very different and important, but also the cost of going to the different universities, whereas I may have been paying upwards of $9,000 per semester. You know, oftentimes my tuition at College of the Mainland may have lingered in the hundreds instead of the thousands. And so, you know, you have to consider things like room and board if you're living at the university versus commuting back and forth. I'm a resident here in Texas City, and so yes, it saved me lots of money as it pertains to someone else who might be going to a four-year university. And there were other experiences that probably differed as well. Small class sizes, meaning getting to know your classmates and working in smaller groups and things like that. But that was one of the most notable differences.